or sometimes Natural Order into Primeval Titan.
Might be, yeah, it might actually Goldfish faster.
Yeah, this is a Naya-colored Valakut list. He's got access to Knight of the Reliquary, Kasali Pride Mage. Other than that, no.
There's a Green
white
Sun
cards,
Zenith engine. It's let's see, we have 27 lands, 8 green creature search spells, 4 Green Sun Zenith, 4 Natural Order, and 25 creatures. 25 green creatures, no less. Ben Feingersh, on the other hand, is playing basically a bug, maybe like a landstill type of deck, now with 100% less standstills.
Yeah, this is very, it's just bug control. All right, we're going to see Thoughtseize from Ben. It's going to show us what exactly is in Michael's hand. So
my favorite part about this hand, he has a black bordered taigas, black bordered plateaus,
white bordered plateau,
and a white bordered wood elves,
and then 2 white bordered wood elves.
He's got his dual lands pimped out, and
yeah, he pointed at the plateau and shook his head. We got white bordered wood elves there, mini Primeval Titans. As you call them. Ben's deck, I really like Ben's deck. He's got kind of everything you'd sort of expect out of a bug control list. You've got Jace, you've got Liliana, you've got Snapcaster, Vendilion Click, you've got Pernicious Deed, and yes, he is playing 2 copies, main deck, of Abrupt Decay.
Yeah, it was basically a big card we were talking about from, and so Ben spends his second turn brainstorming.
Michael uses his turn 1 for a Valakut.
Yeah, he drew a Valakut off the top, and then he's going to fetch out a dual land with Misty Rainforest, more than likely.
Now, we saw in his hand he has Stomping Grounds in the deck, and you're like, Stomping Grounds in Legacy, what? But
yeah.
It's great with Valakut.
You kind of have to.
I mean, you kind of...
you're only allowed to...
Valakut number 2, right off the top.
Right. So... Yeah, Michael said he really liked his deck against any sort of slow deck.
Against like the Miracle deck, I think he said it's like it's a joke.
Complete buy, because he has these uncounterable damage sources.
Ancestral Vision from Ben, slowly ticking down.
All right,
coming off suspend.
I guess basically 12 mountains. He has 4 Stomping Ground, 4 Taiga, 4 Plateau. And here comes the old combo of black border Taiga into white border
wood elves.
I imagine, okay, that meets a Mana Leak from Ben. He has
Mana
1
Leak,
Mana Leak
wood
and
elves.
1...
Yeah. What format is this? Mana Leak, your wood elves.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Legacy. There's 1 counter spell and 1 Mana Leak that does
Wood
Ben.
Elves number 2.
Wood Elves number 2.
If he syncopates this, I'm gonna...
Yeah, right. But yeah, Ben's deck is definitely filled with some spice. There's one of quite a few cards. There's 1 Maelstrom Pulse, 1 Life from the Loam, 1 Ghastly Demise. His main ways past the victory. He has 3 Snapcaster Mages, 2 Vendilion Clicks, and 5 Planeswalkers, 3 Mind Sculptors, and 2 Liliana of the Veil. His Liliana Veils can do a lot of work with Life from the Loam. His Life from the Loam can get back a Creeping Tar Pit to kill his opponent.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Ben can do here against this Valakut deck. Not only I'm sure he's not prepared for facing down a Valakut deck, but I mean, other than countering Wood Elves, which are just going to kind of slow things down, like Ben needs to... Here's a window, it's slowly closing. You can try to keep it open a little bit, but in the meantime, you need to be getting in damage. You need to be putting something on the board that's going to win you the game. Because eventually all of these Valakuts are going to start to trigger.
Ben does have access to 2
2
wastelands.
Yeah.
So that might be
his saving grace, his only hope.
Michael Stanley is Green Sun Zenithing for
3 here, yeah. So this could be a Knight of the Reliquary or another Wood Elves, even.
Yeah, given that Michael has 4 mountains in play,
I imagine
I think
it's
he
not
might
Knight.
He might actually just get another Wood Elves.
And it looks to have resolved because Michael's got his deck. And he's searching.
I mean, depending on the number of lands,
3.
yeah.
When it comes into play, search your library for a forest and put that card into play, then shuffle your library. So you've got Taiga, you've got Stomping Grounds, or you can just get Basic Forest. Although I don't know
He
that
doesn't
he
have
actually
any
has
basic. He
Forest.
does not have any
I
basic.
imagine that's the good.
He doesn't have
good
any
idea.
basic mountains either. It's just.
Yeah, there's Valakut. Enters the battlefield tapped.
So Neither Reliquary is Michael's choice.
Huh. So I actually am surprised by that because
Yeah.
I thought he's got Taiga, Stomping Ground,
Scalding
Stomping
Tarn.
Ground, and then Scalding Tarn to get another mountain. So
Would be-
technically
that's four. He could have gotten up to 5 with the Wood Elves, but decided to go with the Knight of the Reliquary. The Knight of the Reliquary can't get much in the way of anything but a Valakut or a mountain. There's one Dryad Arbor. The 27 lands are 4 Valakuts, 12 mountains, 10 fetch lands, and 1 Dryad Arbor.
And all the fetch lands search for mountains, I imagine.
Yes. 0 basics. So the other thing, I mean, depending on Ben's hand, is this knight might actually just attack for a ton.
Yeah, Ben's already at 15, and there's 2 Valakuts in play. That's 2 triggers as soon as the 5th mountain. Enters the
Ben is
battlefield.
actually still looking for lands. Found a land, but had to wait
I'm
for
sorry, at
his
least
ancestral
the
vision.
6th mountain he needs, right?
Correct.
Because you need 5 other mountains.
Yes. Is anyone telling Escape Shift will tell you need
Yeah.
7 lands
Exactly.
to 1 Valakut and 6 mountains to deal all the damage.
So as soon as the 6th mountain hits, that represents 6 damage at the moment. I don't know how big the knight is. I imagine it's not very big, but
Yeah, it might actually just be a 2/2.
yeah, I don't think. I mean, it's a relative 3/3 because of the Scalding Tarn.
Right. Looks like you got Snapcaster Mage for Thoughtseize. Is Michael's
Mountain,
right.
mountain card gets mountain. So,
Okay.
well,
Michael Stanley actually asked for the Oracle on Ghastly Demise.
that was what
momentarily.
that little pause was for. But
Yeah.
we're all good. So,
So now that Ben's down to 13, I believe, once Thoughtseize deals its damage.
yep, making it a little bit easier for Michael. And Michael does have plenty of mountains in hand right now. He
Yeah.
goes, so he's got 4 mountains in play, or if you count the Scalding Tarn. So he's got 12 damage worth, and he just drew another Valakut, and he's putting in play. Okay,
So he's waiting on it. And
he's taking his time.
sending with both creatures. The Snapcaster Mage and the Wood Elves will trade. And the Valakut, the Knight of the Reliquary will deal, I think, 2 damage.
Yeah, wonder why he blocked her there.
Didn't. No.
Well, brainstorm from Ben. Yes. So we're saying he's got 3 mountains actually in play, but the Scalding Tarn represents another mountain,
Right.
and so that's 4. And then
Maelstrom Pulse was drawn by Ben, so right. Looks like Michael drew a Scavenging Ooze. Really pretty big. And that's going to be Force of Will. Ben's going to discard, exile one of his Jaces, and promptly draw another Jace. Yeah, so basically, at this point, Ben's looking for a Wasteland, which he found. So, for him, yeah, he almost got the Valakut. It might be better for him to leave it in play, wait for a 6th mountain, and try and get the keep him off these 6
keep him
mountains.
off the mountains, right?
Yeah.
Do you think? I mean, it seems to me that Michael's in good shape right now, but he does seem to be kind of not executing very fast. Do you feel like that? Does it feel like that way to you? I mean, he's got
Yes and no. Part of it is that he doesn't have the rampant growth type effects
right.
very much in this deck. I mean, his only ones are Wood Elves and Primeval Titans that actually put additional lands into play.
I guess I'm more thinking about the fact that like he's got 2 Valakuts in play before playing that 3rd one, and could have played a mountain there. You know, like I'm thinking like, is 6 damage with every mountain not enough? You know, like that.
Yeah, I might have gone for
Trying to get to the mountains beforehand.
Yes.
Like it's nice and all, but like 6 damage seems like a lot to me with every mountain. And
yeah, it seems like plenty. In my opinion.
But then again, you know, I don't play with a Valakut very often, so
yeah, I could safely say I've never played I have played a Valakut in Legacy. I played Escape Shift deck once. It was not very good.
Yeah, Michael's deck is not a Escape Shift version at all.
Correct. He's just the hard way. Put the extra lands to play. One card I would have liked to see in this deck, and I really liked when I played Escape Shift, was Oracle Moldiah.
Yeah, I mean that was one that saw a lot of standard play. So Michael played Kosali Pride Mage last turn. Ben now brainstorms with Jason, then plays a Snapcaster Mage on another brainstorm, it looks like, and finds a Ghastly Demise for the Kosali Pride Mage.
Did Ben not play his land?
I don't know. I didn't see him play the land. I don't think he did.
So now he can't play his land because Michael is representing a lethal Scalding Tarn. I might have actually just gone ahead and cracked it and dealt 9. Just so any Wastelands wouldn't. Ben plays a Wasteland, and that should be game.
Yeah, Inquisition of Kozilek shows us another fetch land, and I'm seeing 5 mountains in play, and the 6th one represented by a Scalding Tarn also in play, and Michael slow rolling the, yeah, here it goes, crack these 2, go to 18, and kill you. So Valakut takes game 1.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like this is the type of deck his deck would love to play against every round.
And I guess that's the thing. If he feels that confident in the matchup, and then he doesn't need to play. He doesn't need to be trying to execute the game plan that fast, right? Because he feels like even with a little bit of disruption in the form of Wasteland, it's really not enough.
Yeah, as you can see, one Wasteland was not nearly enough.
No, I mean, he was just like, okay.
Yeah. So going to sideboard, Michael has quite the sideboard. He has, what I really like about his deck is the 3 specialty lands. Given that he has neither Aquaria and Primeval Titan, he has a Bajuka Bog, a Caracas, and a Tabernacle at Pendlevale. I don't think any of those will be coming in.
But it's interesting to see
but
those.
it's a sign of good deck building.
Right, and you can tutor for those, you know.
He also has 4 crop rotations to give him 5 functional copies of it.
Right, and I like that too because, you know, even... you know, at some point you might need a mountain more than you need the 3rd Valakut. You know what I mean? You just need a trigger.
Or you get the right, or respond to a Wasteland.
Sure, yeah, that'll work too. Nice.
I don't think crop rotation is going to come in.
No, not
in
this
this
matchup. So
either. I actually don't think Michael should sideboard anything. Maybe he can take out some of it. He has like 2 Vexing Shushers in his deck. He has 4 Kazali Pride Mage, which I don't.
It doesn't really need to be. It's
great.
Not that great. But
the problem is he actually doesn't have anything for this matchup because he feels like it's so good.
Right.
Or these type of matchups. Obviously, he's not testing against like only bug control or only miracles or anything like that. But
yeah, these decks that are going to take a little while to win the game
and don't have a ton of ways to
to interact with land. Yeah, uncounterable lightning bolts. Yeah, they're pretty good. Uncounterable smothers are good. Uncounterable wraths are good. Uncounterable lightning bolts.
Yeah,
pretty good. You know.
Think of a good effect and
yeah, make it uncounterable.
And then it's legacy playable.
Right. How's your matchup against the counterspell decks? Well, probably pretty good.
Yeah. So the other cards in Michael's sideboard are Leyline of Sanctity and Oblivion Ring. I don't think either of those should come in. What about Benrin?
Well. Ben, he doesn't really have all that much either, but at this point, like, I guess you just want to try to counter the ramp spells because you can't deal with much otherwise.
Okay.
He's got a Duress, which can steal a ramp spell. We saw Thoughtseize there in game 1, and he's got an additional Force of Will, a 4th copy. Not quite sure that he really wants anything else.
He does have a single copy of Perish.
Sure, yeah, and I guess that could come in handy. Yeah, I mean, I guess creatures do attack too.
Given
Michael can also attack on that angle, so.
And just given you saw Knight of the Reliquary.
Yeah.
So.
I guess there's no reason not to just bring in a Perish. I see Life in the Loam in Ben's list, which obviously has.
I think that's a card he has to find.
Yeah.
And both of he needs
just
to find his one copy of Life in the Loam, or else he can't win.
Yeah, I mean, just so he can reuse Wastelands, and that's really it. But interesting, I wanted to point it out because it's another card very much affected by Deathrite Shaman. Mm-hmm. So you know, since we were talking about it before.
Ben has 4 Tarmogoyfs in his sideboard. I actually might think that might come in for some of the weaker cards. Like, I don't see Spell Pierce or Abrupt Decay being all that good.
I can see that. Yeah, that actually makes sense because that gives him an avenue of winning before Michael
Right.
does.
I mean, he also saw that after a certain point, Michael just didn't have anything except for a land drop each turn.
Yeah.
So if he
Tarmogoyf
might be enough to raise that, given some extra help. Although having the Tarmogoyf and the Perish in the deck at the same time is a little bit awkward.
Yeah, it's only one Perish though.
Right.
You know, if you're winning with your Tarmogoyf, don't cast Perish.
Yeah.
I think that seems like a reasonable, game plan. I mean, maybe write it down, look at it during sideboard,
Right,
and
so
remember, don't do this.
We got 2 keeps, 2 black border dual lands. Real classy. I can safely say I've never owned a black border dual land.
I have black-bordered Hallowed Fountains, black-bordered... You mean original dual lands?
Yeah, I mean revised dual lands.
Yeah, I understand. You revised the lands.
I actually do have 1 black border dual land.
Yeah.
However, it was Sharpied.
Fake black-bordered, so...
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have any of those either. I just have revised duels. So, turn 1, Noble Hierarch meets Ghastly Demise from Ben. And turn 2, Valakut from Michael Stanley. Trying to get the ball rolling. It's just land go from Ben, Valakut go from Michael, and Vendilion Click at the end of your turn resolves. Click you.
Alright, so we get to see his hand.
Red Blast,
Thragtusk,
Thragtusk, Green Sun Zenith, Natural Order, and 2 fetch lands.
Yeah, one of those fetch lands can actually get a Dryad Arbor, if desired. Good. I might have actually red blasted the
I was thinking
deck.
the same thing. I was about to say that too. I think, I mean, you had it, and it's there, you know.
So the red blast was really important. Then.
But I guess, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like you traded your red blast for a Vendilion Click if you cast it. If not, now he's got a 3/1 and he took your red blast anyway. And what did you use that mana for? You know, like
he gets to draw a different card, but I think I'd rather take out his click than have an extra card. I think Ben drew one of his 2 wastelands.
And there it is, and he's going to take out the Valakut, one of the 2 Valakuts on the other side.
Alright, so in the meantime, Michael's drawn a Knight of the Reliquary and a Noble Hierarch as his 2 cards.
I think Ben's in incredible shape right now because
me too.
Michael doesn't have much of a way. I don't think he has any way to deal with that Vendilion Click right now in his hand. So Ben's got pressure and he's got counter spells, and he's just like, you know what? I think I can erase your Valakuts. Like, might be able to. I mean, depending on what else he has going on. We've got a counter spell for Knight of the Reliquary.
Right. So Ben's definitely taking quite the aggressive role.
In a strange way, he needs to be the beatdown.
Yes.
Right. Like he actually just needs to beat down before Michael assembles the combo.
The way to think of it, I mean, you're definitely right. The way to think of it is that, all right, in a 20-turn game, who's gonna who's just gonna, you know, win on turn 20, as opposed to if the game goes to turn 20, you know, you have to like Michael's chances.
So here we go with the green sun for 0. No surprise what that's going to find. And in the meantime, he's going to crack a fetch land as well, just to save some time.
So
nice.
cutting, getting a Tiger, and then with his
fetch land and a Dryad
Arbor with the green sun Zenith. So
is it the first non-mountain, non-fetch land that he's played? Oh, I guess Valakut's not a mountain or fetch land either.
Yeah, it's the only one in his deck, in fact.
And a Noble Hierarch from Michael Stanley. So
Michael just really interested in ramping more than anything.
At this point, Ben just needs to watch out for that natural order, but he's aware of it, and he's got 2 counter spells in hand. He's got a Force of Will and a Mana Leak.
And he's got Michael on a pretty short clock between the Vendilion Click and the Mishra's Factory. He chose not to attack with the Factory this time.
Yeah, I think he's got Force of Will and Mana Leak right now, so I think he's like, well, I can hard cast Force and have another counter spell, or I can Mana Leak, I guess, and still hold the Force. But you know, at this point, he's got five mana available. He knows that Michael wants to go for a natural order at some point, or at least he's building up to it, and he needs to protect it. So I don't mind.
Do an Oblivion Ring. I believe it's about to be played.
So Oblivion Ring comes down, and we imagine that the target is going to be Vendilion Click. And Ben's letting that resolve. I'm surprised because I think I would counter it.
Well, if he counters it, then land.
Oh, that's right. He hasn't played his land yet.
Yes, land plus
land
the natural order that Ben knows Michael has. So I mean, at this point, like you're just going to sit back. Ben doesn't have much going on.
Yeah, Jaw's
fetch land.
Fetch land. Yeah. Does he have a wasteland in hand?
I believe that's a cool island. Maybe
okay.
Island.
Yeah, there's the fetch line he drew this turn. Passes back.
Guru APAC, one of the ones I have no idea which is which.
Thragtusk.
Thragtusk is going to get Mana Leaked.
Land go.
Yeah, Michael just missed 2 points of damage with his Dryad
Arbor, right.
Because Ben mistakenly tapped his Mishra's Factory.
Yeah, one mistake begets another. I guess they're trading mistakes there.
Jace comes down for Ben, and I believe it's going to Brainstorm. And
yeah,
once again, I would have left open the Mishra's Factory. So it looks like Tarmogoyf was brought in. And
Snapcaster. 2 of the best 2 drops in Legacy.
Yep. And pass to put one more back. Yep. Might actually keep the Tarmogoyf, get rid of the. It looks like Ben's gonna save his second copy of Jace to pitch to Force of Will.
Yeah, that's what I imagine.
And then leave the Snapcaster Mage.
He kept the Snapcaster, I believe,
yeah,
and so Tarmogoyf's probably on top.
It is.
Or it's within the first 2 cards on the top of Ben's library. Alright, 6 mana here.
It looks like a Primeval Titan. That's probably going to get counted.
Yeah, I would think Force pitch Jace here, and that's exactly what Ben does. No Primeval Titan, please.
And then an attack.
Yeah, so Dryad Arbor coming across the table and knocking Jace to 1. Ben's fine with that as long as the Jace is around for him to Brainstorm again, I think, you know?
Yeah.
He's
3-1
as long as Jace is around.
to draw the Tarmogoyf before...
He didn't want to fetch.
Yes, before fetching.
And
he's actually going to Brainstorm, so he's actually drawing a land that he doesn't want. However, he only has, 1 shuffle effect, so you want to get, 2 cards put away with it instead of just 1.
He's looking at Force, Snapcaster, Tarmogoyf as the hand he wants to, as the cards he wants to hold on to. I agree with that. He's just going to put some lands back, and one of those is
Creeping Tar Pit, which actually I might consider keeping, but like you can only can't keep them all.
Right, and he wants.
Might actually, I might have considered putting away the Force of Will. If only because the Snapcaster on Counterspell would work.
Yeah,
with
I actually,
the mana that Ben has.
I like this plan. I think what he's doing, he's like, all right, I'm going to put pressure on the board. Also, after this turn, protects Jace. And he can still force something because he can remove Snapcaster if he has to.
If he takes this line that he took, I would have attacked with the Mishra's Factory.
Sure. Yeah.
And we get to bust out the trusty Tarmogoyf die.
The Tarmo die.
No,
that's
we don't have.
awkward.
Do we have the Tarmo die?
It's a 3/4, but I guess that's one way to do it. I haven't seen anybody do that before. Put a 3 and a 4, but it. I guess it effectively communicates it, at least for the moment. I think Choi's going in search of the Tarmogoyf die. And here comes the natural order. Ben's going to counter it, removing Snapcaster. Or he can. That's what he can play Snapcaster counterspell here.
Yeah, that's why I like pitching the Force Will, putting the Creeping Tar Pit into play.
Yeah, okay. In that case, I like your line better. Because you get the Creeping Tar Pit out of it, and you know, you're not forcing, so what's the point of keeping the force? I guess you shuffle it away. I guess he just wanted that counterspell more than he wanted the Creeping Tar Pit. But
I mean, again, it's like,
alright, Goyf's a 4/5. And he draws Innocent Blood.
I don't think that helps him here. But
no, not at all.
That's why Watsy made Jace.
There it is.
Go. That's one of the coolest innovations on the on SCG Live here. Good old Tarmogoyf die. The only problem is if it gets to a 7/8, we're kind of in trouble.
Yeah, I guess we are. But,
Can't handle both the tribal and the planeswalker.
I guess that's rare enough to just go ahead and use a 6-sider.
Yeah. A risk we're willing to take. Yeah. I'm finally getting aggressive.
Alright, so Mishra's Factory, Snapcaster, and Tarmogoyf all coming in. Looks like Snapcaster's going to trade with Dryad Arbor. Goyf gets chumped by, what was it, a Noble Hierarch? And Mishra's Factory gets in for 2. Ben passes back. This isn't looking good for Michael, although at this point he's got the pseudo 6 mountains in play if you count the 2 fetch lands.
I was going to have to crack them.
Yeah, but that only represents 3 damage. He can kill Jace with
Yeah, but he would die in the meantime.
Right.
Tarmogoyf is a 4/5 and Mishra's Factory is a 2/2, so what's likely going to happen is that the fetch lands are going to be cracked to get mountains to kill the Mishra's Factory.
There we have a Maelstrom Pulse on an O-Ring to get back the Vendilion Click.
Oh, that's even puts an enchantment in the graveyard.
Yeah, makes the Goyf bigger and
makes the Goyf very lethal.
Yeah, that was a really good game by Ben. I feel like he did exactly kind of what he needed to do. We just get some pressure down and kind of keep his foot on the gas a little bit. Just beat the heat down while Michael sits over there.
Yeah, he's definitely taking the correct role of. He knows he's not a big favorite in these long games, so just be more like a very, very poor fish deck, but he still has like on a bunch of the control elements. To make Michael have to manually kill him.
Right.
I don't think Michael resolved a spell that wasn't like a Noble Hierarch.
I mean, I think that whole he O-ringed.
Yes,
but I think the whole game hinged, or really could have gone a completely different direction if he would have just red blasted the Vendilion Click.
Yeah,
because there wouldn't have been the pressure.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have had the red blast, but Michael wouldn't have had the information that there's a natural order combo in this deck. He doesn't even know all he knows is he just saw Valakut.
Yeah.
A Valakut deck. He has no idea if there's Scape Shift coming. He obviously probably wants to keep counter spells anyway, but his idea of, I know you have natural order, I need to keep at least one counter spell for natural order available pretty much at all times, as long as you have a creature available to to cast it. So just that, getting that information off of the Vendilion Click, you know, it's like I took your Red Blast, I got the information about more information about your deck, and I put pressure on the board. Like, really, I have no idea what the, you know, Michael really wanted one more card just in place of that blast. Like, that's the only.
And he took a lot of damage in the meantime to do it, and he ended up obliterating.
And then had to use an O-ring anyway, so I had to use another card to deal with it anyway. So that was, I mean, an early play. In fact, it may have only been the first real play of the game was the Vendilion Click. And I think it really hinged there. Because without that information and that click, I think things happen just way differently. Maybe Ben doesn't keep, you know, even if he gets the Jace and he starts to brainstorm, maybe he doesn't keep the same spells and then doesn't have anything when the natural order resolves.
Or you get, Michael gets extra draw steps.
Sure, yeah, just that might be enough. So I don't know what the Red Blasts are for if not for a situation where someone's doing that. Also, you just want to protect yourself from your opponent getting information about your deck, especially when you're playing kind of a rogue strategy,
such a unique deck.
You're like, hey, I have Valakut. This is crazy. People aren't going to be prepared. But, like, don't give him more information. He doesn't know you have natural order combo in your deck. Now he does.
Right.
But let's see if Michael can...
Between the information he got that game, I believe Ben should be able to piece together most of what Michael's able to do.
Yeah.
You may not know about like some of the like the tutor targets like Vexing Shusher.
Sure.
But
yeah, he didn't see like Scavenging Ooze, I don't think. But like those are a lot less relevant than natural order into Titan or Progenitus.
He knows most of the deck. He knows Hierarch and the Knight of the Reliquary. What else in the Primeval Titan? Both Green Sun Zenith and Natural Order, and then the lands.
Joseph Reinhardt, if you're in the room, please come see me up at the stage.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, you know, we saw the Dryad Arbor attack the Jace down to 1, and it's just like Ben's like, I don't care. I just want to brainstorm. Jace sits there. Jace can be on any number of counters. I don't care. I just want to brainstorm. I want to draw counter spells, and I just want to, you know, pressure you and be able to counter your things. So Michael really needed to completely finish off that Jace much quicker. I don't know if he ever had the ability to, but you know, it was almost like that 2 damage was totally irrelevant.
Right.
If you're just joining us, I'm Joey Pasco.
And I'm Adam Prozac.
And we're coming to you guys live from Providence, Rhode Island, where we're covering round 3 of 8 of the StarCityGames.com Legacy Open. This is the first round of coverage of Legacy we've brought you guys this weekend. There was a whole slew of standard coverage, and wow, that was... You guys need to go back and check that out if you haven't seen it already. Standard is just awesome. But Legacy... also a very, very appealing format. I know Legacy typically, we were saying this yesterday, you know, for me, Legacy typically is my favorite format, except when there's a fresh standard format.
Legacy is like the thing that's always awesome, where standard needs the like constant change.
Yeah, the refreshing, it makes it really good. So
the best thing about like one of these opens, like even if like the standard format's not like, you know, great or whatnot, you always have a Legacy tournament that you know will be a great format.
Yeah.
Will be, you know, relatively unexplored.
So, turn 1, Dryad Arbor for Michael Stanley to start the game off. Game 3.
Ben looks like he has a Singleton Parish in his hand. Not sure why he's fetching here. I didn't see a 1-mana spell, but I've been wrong
I imagine
before.
there is one. I mean, I can't imagine why he would fetch here
Attention players,
and then pass.
And Stephen Thompson, please come to the
Yep,
stage.
it's an Inquisition of Kozilek, and we're going to see what's available there. So we've got 2 fetch lands, a Taiga, Green Sun Zenith, Primeval Titan, and Scavenging Ooze. So
Imagine that the Green Sun Zenith is going to be taken.
Yeah, I think that's what I would take.
Especially given that the Scavenging Ooze is not going to be down much before getting perished. So, oh, looks like we're taking the ooze.
Okay.
Ooze the boss. Like Stanley, playing out a Green Sun Zenith for 1. Fetching out a land of some variety.
It's a plateau. So Green Sun for 1. Gets him a Noble Hierarch. Really nothing else in the deck besides...
Wow. Excellent draw from Ben. He drew one of his wastelands.
Whew. Yeah.
So,
he's going to be able to buy a little more time.
Weird that Michael is probably unable to get to 6 mana in any reasonable fashion against a deck with Perish and Wasteland.
Yeah. Yeah, Ben's set up
even worse for Michael, he just drew Knight of the Reliquary.
Yeah, and he's going to play it and it's going to get perished. He's basically walking right into a Perish and then followed up by Wasteland. At least this is what we suspect, that he's going to play Knight of the Reliquary here.
Yeah, he also has a Green Sun Zenith. He drew another one. So
maybe that's what he's thinking about.
He might be thinking about going and get like a Wood Elves or something like that.
In the tank.
So Michael basically decide what does he want to play on. He has no information on Ben's hand or his deck list, really.
Yeah, I think he has the gist of it. It's a Jace deck, it's a click deck. He's going to play Snapcaster maybe. He saw Tarmogoyf, so...
But he doesn't have like...
He doesn't know
Ben
what...
played an Inquisition, knows most of Michael's hand.
Oh, sure. Yeah, Michael has less information than Ben does, for sure. So he's going to go with the Green Sun Zenith, and this time for 3. And this is going to find a Wood Elves, as you posited a few seconds ago. Wood Elves finds a forest in the form of Stomping Ground.
So it's probably like the best best play. If he knew Perish was coming, that's probably the play you'd want to make.
Exactly. So what he can do here is, well, if Ben were to perish, and if Ben were to perish, he couldn't Wasteland just yet. Michael can just follow up with the Knight of the Reliquary, right? He's going to have the lands. Brainstorm at the end.
Brainstorm plus fetch land.
Yeah, end of turn Brainstorm from Ben and...
Upkeep fetch land. There's the fetch land. One of the more powerful plays in Legacy. For those of you that don't get to play much Legacy, when you're playing Brainstorm decks, most of the time you want to hold your Brainstorms until you have this shuffle effect. Unless your hand is, loaded. Mm-hmm. If your hand has some improvement to be made, you want to wait to Brainstorm until you can shuffle away.
Yeah, there's that Perish. Yeah, basically, if you have cards in your hand that you don't need and you would like to shuffle them away, like 2 cards, just having a shuffle effect is big. So there's Perish. Destroy all green creatures; they can't be regenerated. And so we lost the Dryad Arbor, we lost the Wood Elves, and we lost the Noble Hierarch on Michael's side of the board. Michael starts to rebuild with a Knight of the Reliquary, which is just that little bit bigger because of the Dryad Arbor that just went to the graveyard. Jace is just going to bounce it.
The Mana Ward Jace. Always my favorite Jace.
I like the Brainstorm Jace. Repeated Brainstorms, that's my thing, man. I like that.
I like making my opponent spend far more mana to keep a creature in play than I did to play my Jace. I actually like the never Brainstorm Jace.
Yeah, this is actually great too. When your opponent has no pressure, he plays like 1 guy and he costs a lot of mana.
Yeah.
Right now, Michael has paid 6 for that same Knight of the Reliquary, right? And Jace is going to Brainstorm here. But yeah, I mean, Ben could just bounce.
I think Ben missed on all of his. It looks like all blue cards for Ben.
Yeah, I mean, he could have bounced the Knight again.
The other thing I don't like about brainstorming with Jace here is that Ben has 2 actual brainstorms in his hand. So if he wants that effect, he has it.
Right, he could bounce and then brainstorm if he
Yes,
wanted,
he
or
can do
brainstorm
both.
and then bounce. Either one, he actually could do both. We do have a question from Twitter, and this is something we did kind of talk in between games. Was what are your thoughts on crop rotation in Valakut? And I think it's a pretty good card. It's in the sideboard of Michael's.
It's in the sideboard of decks. The problem with crop rotation is that it does not actually accelerate you.
Yeah, just
7 lands, and the reason why Valakut is a fringe strategy in Legacy is because it requires a ton of lands to do anything. So, actually, one thing, if I were to build Michael's deck over again, I would personally want more accelerant type effects. I'm shocked that Sakura Tribe Elder, although he doesn't have any basics, or an Oracle will die, or even like Explore
sure, yeah.
would definitely help Michael get more lands into play.
All right, so
A draw step Vendilion Click from Ben.
yeah, Michael untaps, draws, and gets clicked. Well, there we see Titan, Zenith,
Primeval Titan,
and Natural
and
Order in the shadow there. The shadow of the Colossus. Well, it's next to the Colossus. Or Titan, Colossus. Similar things.
Natural Order is that Michael doesn't really have a green creature to sacrifice. Usually you just have a Dryad Arbor, but Michael's already drawn his and it's dead.
Well, he's got Knight of the Reliquary.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly
the most
green
appealing
creature,
green
yeah.
creature to sacrifice for sure. I'm just, he does have it.
You do when you have to, yeah.
He could Zenith, like right now, though, he can't, obviously, Zenith plus Natural Order, because he doesn't have the Dryad Arbor anymore. He could
Whoa.
Zenith for...
There we go.
Yeah, don't pick up the Knight, too. Okay, now draw from the click. Okay. So what did he get rid of? It was the...
He got rid of the Primeval Titan.
Okay, that's what I thought. Primeval Titan, unable to be
Almost had
cast.
a very good Vendilion Click.
Yeah,
Unsummons,
also
too.
unsummoned, right.
Yeah.
And you lose a life, Vapor Snag. So we'll do that.
Yeah, why not?
As long as we're upgrading. I mean, that click's going to get in for 3, and it's almost like 3 Vapor Snags, right? If it was going to unsummon, why not?
We just count damage in terms of the number of Vapor Snags.
Sure, why not?
Like Lightning Bolt's just like 3 Vapor Snags.
Yeah. It's actually not anything like that, because you're not getting the bounce effects, right?
Correct.
With a Lightning Bolt. But yeah, there's a Kasali Pride Mage, which was fresh off of the click. Not anywhere near as appealing as the Primeval Titan that he did have, but
Yeah.
that Vendilion Click worked some magic and turned Titan into a little kind of lion, I guess. You're a cat.
Players, that is time in round 3. Legacy Open players. Active player, finish your
Actually,
turn.
might have
Plus
been.
5 additional turns.
I'm not sure that's a close play between projecting your Jace and leaving your click in
call
play.
for one. Once again, that is time in the Legacy
Yeah, I
Open.
agree.
Ben doesn't have a ton of ways to actually close. And I believe we're going to see
Players in the States.
Snapcaster plus Perish.
Please make your way to seats.
That's spicy.
Once again,
Yeah.
players in States.
So
Click blocks the attacking Knight of the Reliquary to protect Jace, and Ben goes ahead and fetches with his Polluted Delta. Now drawing for the turn, draws Force of Will. We do
That's a good
see
draw.
he has Snapcaster, and he's going to brainstorm with Jace. Looks like he found a Ghastly Demise, a Thoughtseize, and a Misty Rainforest. So, nice shuffle effect there. He's got all the counter spells.
Yeah,
He's got like
Ben's hand is
Counterspell,
loaded.
Force, Snapcaster. So I believe he put back Force and something else. I'm not sure. Plays the Misty Rainforest. Now here's Snapcaster Perish, as you suspected. So
I might have actually rather have a click. As weird as it sounds, I might rather have a Vendilion Click than a Jace in play right now.
I mean, he
Just
could be
to,
attacking right now.
Yeah.
But and especially when Ben's hand is as loaded as it is, the brainstorm isn't as valuable when your hand is already good. Like how much more can you upgrade?
Exactly. And then looking at his sideboard, or Michael looking at his sideboard really quick. Make sure he didn't side something out.
Yeah, that's kind of a fairly new thing where you weren't able to actually look at your sideboard. About a year ago or so, something like that. But
real nice upgrade.
Yeah, it is. I
There's
mean, I think
no-
it's. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You know,
Yeah.
Just can I look at my sideboard real quick? I just want to make sure what I know what's in my deck.
Green Sun Zenith for 5. Getting Force of Will.
Force, pitch, something we didn't quite see, but
Yeah.
he had counterspell
That's
in
too
hand,
fast.
so I believe it was probably counterspell because he did have he had counterspell in hand. He played the Snapcaster. I don't see the counterspell anymore. I only got a quick look, but it looks like
Might be-
Thoughtseize,
no.
Ghastly Demise just drew Mana Leak, so it was he did Force pitching counterspell. So no Valakits, and there's the Thoughtseize you take your natural order.
So Michael's
And
on.
now we're going to Fate Seal plan. I wish we could see what it was, but Jace Fate Seals. Ben says keep it, and I'll attack you with Snapcaster Mage. So maybe at this point, he's happy to have the Jace over the click, but just to keep his opponent kind of screwed. I mean, it is one of the best feelings to be the guy with the Jace when your opponent's empty-handed and you start to Fate Seal.
Yeah.
It is like game over pretty much because you
It's kind of like
sort
Miracle in a Bonfire.
control their it's like a really slow burn, I guess. So you getting to control or at least see their draw, right? Like, okay, so you're gonna get that Scalding Tarn. That's fine. You don't have any Valakits. Scalding Tarn not scary. And it's passed back. Michael draws, plays Knight of the Reliquary, and we're gonna see Snapcaster.
Ghastly Demise or no?
Snapcaster-
Ghastly Demise wasn't cast yet. Snapcaster Hardcast.
Hard cast Force, that's what it is, yeah. He pointed to Force, and I was afraid he was going to try to pay
Yeah,
alternate
it's
cost,
no-
and we were going to have to go, stop.
Yeah.
But no, he cracked a fetch land and paid 5 for Force of Will. So Ben Feingersh here with Bug Control, looking like he's in great shape here in round 3 of Legacy versus Michael Stanley's kind of very interesting choice of a Valakut deck to bring to Legacy. So Tarmogoyf now for Ben, just to join the team of double Snapcaster, Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Yeah,
And why not Jace's girlfriend, Liliana the Veil. I think they in the storyline. Did you happen to read any of it in Agents of Artifice, the Jace book?
Okay.
He has kind of a thing with Liliana.
Okay.
There's a relationship there. So there's a Valakut.
Don't think it's going to be.
It's not very impressive.
there in time.
Yeah, Ben has totally gone off the Fate Seal plan and has decided, I'm just going to beat you down.
Attention
so,
players, if you registered
yep,
for
and a
$10
lethal attack,
raffle number 1, your event
gives,
ready to begin. Please come see me at the
Ben
stage.
Feingersh,
Registered for $10
his
raffle
third
number 1.
victory
Please come
in
see me at the
just
love-
as many rounds.
I love this round. I love both of these decks. I wouldn't play Valakut, not my style, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
I love Ben's deck, totally my style of deck.
Okay.
Again, I was telling you, I love playing countertop in Legacy, counterbalance miracles in Legacy. And this has a lot of overlapping elements. Mainly, I just want to play Jace and a Jace deck, a Jace control deck, and something like this was what I started with in Legacy. When I started playing, it was a bug Jace deck. So Ben Feingersh keeping the ball rolling. Michael Stanley, I mean, he did feel pretty confident against slower decks, but Ben sort of transformed into something a little more aggressive, to kind of mix with his control elements. He certainly was still a control deck, but
I feel
the
like he
pressure,
had to.
yeah.
And like, you could see at the end of that game, Ben was out of interactive cards, but then he had so much on the board that
Right, it
Michael
didn't matter.
Stanley didn't have
Goyf,
anything.
Tar Pit, double Snapcaster, Jace,
Right.
Liliana. So
Good place for